Oh, good evening. Please, can I be heard?
Yes,
Good
yes,
evening.
please. Good
Yes.
evening.
Yeah,
Good
good
evening.
evening.
Good evening. Yes, you can be heard.
Thank you very
Good
much.
evening. Good
My name
evening.
is Aisha Usmanu. I'm the administrative manager and also um, I also serve as the membership services manager as well. Thank you very much for joining today's workshop. I believe it's 5:05, so we want to start. Our chairman is ready. Um, Before we start, may I ask somebody to volunteer and give us a prayer? Can somebody pray for us,
Okay,
please?
okay. Can we pray?
Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. Father, in the name of Jesus Christ, Jehovah God, we thank you very much for our lives this very particular evening. We exalt your name, we magnify your name, we lift up your name above every other name. Father, we commit this very particular important meeting into your hands, that it will be successful. Let your hand be in it. Be the host of this very particular lecture. At the end of the day, give glory and thanks to your name. That everything that will be discussed here and taught here, teach here, is for your glory and for the betterment of our country. In Jesus' mighty name that we pray. Amen.
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 Thank you so much for the prayer. So we'll begin our workshop. I'm sure most of us are aware why we are here. So today's workshop is basically a preparation for the April-May professional examination. And the workshop is just to prepare potential candidates on the requirements for the examination. So you get to learn how to the application processes, how to prepare your career report, and other activities that follows after the examination. Let me not take too much of your time. So at this stage, I would like to introduce the presenter of this workshop. Is our membership chairman, Engineer Dr. Patrick Amwa Bequin, is a civil engineer, is a fellow of the institution and also a council member. I'm sure more of the introduction will be done by him. But I also want to encourage us to try and keep our devices on mute. There will be questions and answers after the presentation. And during the period, we would make use of the emoji, the hand raise to request to ask our questions, and then answers will be provided as well. I'm joined by a few of my colleagues. We have Adobia, who is Officer for Registration, and then also Richard Achampon, the examination officers. After the presentation, I'm sure they will also come in to present a few more information regarding their professional examination. So on this note, Engineer Chair, if you are ready, our potential members are ready as well, and I think we can begin the presentation now. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you very much, Madam Aisha, and thank you all. I think it will be appropriate to first of all thank each and every one of you for making time of your busy schedule to listen to this workshop, and also showing interest in our institution. You want to become a member, and we really appreciate that. So I will go through a short presentation, and then if there are any questions, I will try and take them with the support of the people from the Secretariat. So, as rightly introduced, I'm the chair of the membership committee of our institution. I've been the chair for, I think, almost three years now, and been involved in this activity for a while now. This is my contact, so I'll make this presentation available at the end of the presentation. So if you need to contact me or any member of the Secretariat, you can. This is going to be the outline of the presentation. I will go through quickly the objective, give you some general information, and how do you become a member of our institution. There are various membership processes that we go through. Then I'll go through the application process that you may need to go through. Then we will now focus on why I believe most of you are here, which is the professional examination, what it entails, and then how the results are published and how you finally get inducted. So in general, this is what I'm going to take you through in the next, hopefully in less than an hour. So what is the objective of this workshop? Mainly to prepare you towards the examination, and also, as I said, the procedures during, before, during, and after the examination, what you need to know. Well, so by way of introduction, some general information, because you want to be a member of our institution. So I was going through the fact that there are geographical locations, and then there are various classes of membership. And we also have what we call occupational groups. I will take my time and explain that, what we mean by occupational group, and when we say a class, what it means. Then the Constitution goes ahead to define who an engineer is and the various classes of engineering, or let me say occupational groups within the engineering. And then we also register firms, and so we call them the service providers. And for here, we are at this moment, we are looking at individual members. So when we say someone is a full member of our institution, it means the person is either a fellow, a senior member, or a member of any of the occupational groups. So when we say occupational groups, there are 4 clear occupational groups in our institution. We have the professional engineers, professional engineering technologists, and then we have engineering technicians, and then we have the engineering craftsmen. So those are the occupational group. If you are a senior member, a member of any of the occupational groups, then you're a full member. Additionally, for the professional engineering occupational groups, you can be a fellow, and you're also considered as a full member of our institution. We also have what we call technical divisions. At the moment, we have 4 main technical divisions based on our engineering practice. We have electrical electronic, we have civil technical division, we have mechanical, agri marine technical division, and we have the chemical mining technical division. The question I believe I'll ask is that if I belong to any other technical divisions, so for example, if I'm a biomedical engineer, where do I place? The Constitution gives room for that. For now, you will be absolved in one of the 4. However, as the numbers increase, we acknowledge that for some of the occupational groups, we do not have enough numbers. As the numbers increase, those occupational technical divisions can be formed. Then the institution is basically managed by the council. And I think Aisha said that I'm part of the council of our institution. The AGM is the highest decision body, but in between AGMs, the council is the highest decision body of our institution. And so there are also various classes of members, and I'll talk about that also going ahead. So what is the objective of our institution? Why do we even exist? We exist to promote and advance the science and practice of engineering to the benefit of society in Ghana and Africa and globally. So that's why we exist as an institution. And we have about 5 main functions of our institution as stipulated in Article 3.2 of our Constitution, mainly registration and regulation, maintenance of professional standard, promotion of welfare, civic service, promotion of and recognition of excellence. So those are our main functions. And as I said, we have we are located geographically by first our headquarters, which is in Secretariat, at the Secretariat in Accra, we call the Roman Ridge. But they have branches, and below the branches we have chapters, and they are based in various regions within the country. And also we have technical divisions I talked about, and then the occupational groups that I also talked about earlier on. And we also register other firms and this thing. So anyone, however, can be a member. I describe who a full member is. So for a member of our institution, we have students can be members of our institutions. We can have trainee members, and then the other full members that I talked about. Then temporary members can also be part of our institution. May I request that we mute our microphones? I'm getting some, we are getting some feedbacks. Then I talked about the fact that for each occupational group, we have senior members, we have members, we have trainee members. Hello.
Yeah, slide is not moving.
Oh, okay.
The slide, you are slow on slide 8, but
so is that a slide down 9?
No, please.
No.
All right. Then just a minute. Let me check the internet connection. Maybe it's from the internet connection. 1 minute. Is it moving now? Hello, Arabia.
Yeah, it has moved to
Hello,
slide
Engineer
9.
Ted. Please, you're on slide 9
better?
now.
Is it better now?
9.
Is it moving?
Yes, please, you're on slide 9 now.
Okay, I've changed
Yes.
the network, so I'm in WA, so
Oh, okay.
I
Okay,
keep
that's
at the moment, you know,
understandable.
anyway. So I think yes. So I was looking at our functional objectives, and then I talked about organizational structure. And then I've already talked about the various membership of each occupational group. Only to say that it's only those who
You know, the
belong.
slides are not show you.
Oh, I thought it was showing earlier on.
Please, it's showing. We are on slide 9, and that is what is showing now.
Okay. So,
Yes.
But we are not saying.
let me stop sharing and start all over again so that
Okay.
sorry.
But it's not.
Okay, so I'm sharing the slide again. I'm going back to window. Can you see my screen now?
Yes,
Yes, we
Engineer
can
Chair.
see it now.
Yes,
Yes, please. Yes, please.
Yes, slide
When the
11.
network is
Oh,
bad,
yeah, it's
when the
working.
network is
It's
bad, you
working.
have an issue.
All right, but you can see slide 10 now.
So you are currently on 11.
11, yes.
11.
Okay. All right. So
But it's
I
still
think
not
that
in the presentation mode. Engineer Chair, I don't know if you can.
on my side is in the presentation mode. So
Oh,
I think
okay.
in order not to do this, is this better so that I'll not be in the presentation mode? Is this
It's better. It's better.
okay? All right. So all right. So I was making the point that if you hear someone is a fellow, then of all the 4 occupational groups, you can be a senior member, a trainee member, and a student member. But fellow is reserved for those in the professional engineers occupational group. So just take notes of that. Now, in terms of honorary classes, so there are people who are honorary fellows and companion members. Those are people who are not, do not have an engineering degree by profession, but have contributed significantly to engineering, and normally we give them companion members or honorary fellows. Then these are titles that we use. These are post-nominal titles, and mainly, so for the fellows, they will normally write FGHIE. For senior professional engineers, SPE, GHIE. Senior professional engineering technologies is as follows. So those are the various post-nominal titles that you can use. It is only the full members of the PE group, that's the professional engineer occupational groups, that will normally use ING as a pre-nominal title. So most of the people who are professional engineers will typically use engineer ING as a pre-nominal title. Now, I talked about the council. The council is mainly made up of the president, the immediate past presidents, mainly the latest and available, the president-elect, the vice president, and we have, for each occupational group, we have an executive representative. Then we have national councillors, 3 national councillors from each occupational groups. And then the technical division, the chairpersons of the technical divisions are part of the councils. Then the branches are part of the councils. Then representatives of registered entities, I talked about firms. Normally our past presidents are also part of council, they are members. Then affiliations represented from affiliated groups, and also the executive director, who is the head of the secretariat. So currently for the 2023-2025 council year, it's for 2 terms, 2 years. The president of our institution is Engineer Kwabena Jimapimpong, and the rest, I'm not going to mention the rest of the name, but the immediate past president is Engineer Professor Charles Enum Adams, and then the rest are listed below. So I want to make emphasis on one, the branches. So depending on your branch, you should know your chair. Branch 1 is Engineer Dr. Joseph Francis Ribeiro. Branch 7, and the list is there, Engineer Franklin Kumasa. Branch 3, Godfred Atta Jackson, and the list continues. I'm the executive representative for professional engineers at the moment, and also the membership chair. And then know your technical division. So civil is Engineer Michael Konedu. Electrical is Engineer Ebenezer Ato Roberts. Mechanical Agric is Engineer Darlington Ahable. And chemical mining is Engineer Professor Nanaya Esiedu. So those are your council members. And the list will be made available so you can go through. And sometimes in the examination, these are questions that they will ask, at least to know who are within your various technical divisions and branches. Now we have the executive committee who, beyond the council, is responsible for more of the day-to-day running of our institution, and it's mainly made up of the president, the immediate past president, the president-elect, the vice president, and I must say that our current vice president is Engineer Sofia Jenny, and then the executive representative of the various occupational groups. So in my case, I'm a part of the executive committee. Then the executive director, who is also part of the executive committee. Now, the executive director is the head of the secretariat, and all the rest of us are elected, but he is non-elected representative. He has a longer tenure than us. Let me go back and also emphasize that because we are dealing with 4 occupational groups, so we have technicians, we have the craftsmen also represented on the council. I just want to emphasize that. Now, the GHIE Council works on committee. There are 7 standing committees that the Constitution recognizes, mainly the Finance Committee, the Conference and Programs Committee, Welfare Committee, Publications Committee, Professional Practice and Ethics Committee, Education and Training Committee, and of course the Membership Committee, which I head. And each one of them have their role and has their own role and responsibility. Now, beyond the standing committees, there are other ad hoc committees, and we have a lot of committees on council. So as you become members, we hope that you join the committees and serve on our council. Beyond that, we also have our code of ethics and disciplinary procedure, mainly to ensure that whatever we do as professionals conforms to established standards, mainly technical, environmental, and safety standards. So the code of conduct are also online, and I will not belabor the point. I will entreat each and every one of us to get used to it. Then we are actually a registered body under the Engineering Council Act, Act 819 of 2011. It's established by Parliament to ensure first of all, to secure the highest professional standards in the practice of engineering. So if you read the act, it talks about bodies, and our institution is one of the bodies registered, professional bodies registered under this act. So most of the things that we do it on behalf of the Engineering Council of Ghana. So even the charges we give as a professional is regulated by the Engineering Council of Ghana. So get the Act 819, and it also recognizes the same four occupational group. And you cannot practice legally now in Ghana if you are not registered under the Act. And you cannot go to Engineering Council directly. You have to register through GHIE or a professional body. And to help in the implementation of the Act, we have the LI 2410, which give better details on the Act. So all the schedules, the regulations, so even our application, the form conforms with this LI 2410. Now, so this was just by way of introduction to our institution, what we do and how we are regulated. Now, how do you become a member of our institution? Adubia, once again, is it flowing? Slide 22, am I on the right?
Yes, it's flowing.
Okay, all right.
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much. All right, so let me start with the professional engineers. So for the professional engineering occupational groups, to become a full member, basically you start off with, and all the occupational groups, there are academic requirements and experience requirement. So to send you to the Engineering Council, we need to establish the fact that you have the requisite academic qualifications, and also you have been under the tutelage of an experienced engineer, and you've practiced engineering for a period of time, and you will get to know the period of time, and then you can write the examination and be presented. So generally, for professional engineers, you should have a bachelor degree in engineering or its equivalents. So BTech and its equivalent, bachelor degree in engineering, Bachelor of Science, Bachelor of Engineering, or its equivalents from an accredited institution. When you get that, based on that, you can register as a trainee professional engineer. And then you work for 3 years under the tutelage of an engineer. And within the 3 years, at least 1 year should be in a position of responsibility. That is to say that if within the 3 years you have not been in a position of responsibility, maybe you may need 4 or 5 years, it depends. But at least minimum 3 years. And when you meet the minimum 3 years experience requirement, then you can apply to write the professional examination. And the professional examination is made up of 3 components: presentation, what we call the oral, technical review, the oral interview, and the written exams. I'll talk about that later. When you pass the exams, you become a professional engineer. And after 10 years, you can apply to become a senior professional engineer. And in principle, depending on other factors, you can apply to become a fellow, which the Constitution stipulates. So basically, for those of you who are interested in the professional engineering route, this is the basic requirement. However, there are people who are professional engineering technologists or technicians who have become maybe they've worked for over a period and now obtain a degree. Those people need 2 years of experience, and 1 year should be in a position of responsibility, and they can write the examination also and go through the same process. So those are the two routes you can pass to become a professional engineer. Now, for those of you who are professional engineering technologists, so who want to go through that route, the basic requirement is that you should have an HND in engineering or its equivalent. Then, if you bring that certificate, the secretariat will register you as trainee professional engineering technology.
I think the line is off again.
We can't hear him again. We can't hear.
Yes. So if he can be prompted.
Yes,
He
I
will
will
join very
prompt him.
soon. Thank you.
I can hear you.
Please, I
Oh,
can hear you
okay,
now.
Engineer Chair.
Someone keeps muting me. I could hear you, but I was muted by someone.
Oh, sorry.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, Engineer Chair, we can hear you.
Yes. So I think I was at the professional engineering technologist, and I was making the point that you need an HND or its equivalent, and it's basically the same process. You come as a trainee professional engineering technologist, then you move on to you need 3 years of experience, 1 year in a position, then you can write the exam. And if you pass, you become a professional engineering technologist. Now, if for some reason you do not have an HND at the time, and maybe previously you were a senior engineering technician or an engineering technician, and you now get the HND, then once again, you need 2 years, 1 year in a position of responsibility, and then you can write the professional engineering exams and become a professional engineering technologist. What about those who are engineering technologists? So those, technicians. For the engineering technician, you need a diploma. So the academic requirement is a diploma in engineering, and then you register, or its equivalent, and you register as a technician, trainee engineering technician. You need 3 years of experience, and you also write the professional exams. Another route is that if you're a master craftsman or an engineering craftsman, and you have national certificates covered too, you can become an engineering technician after practicing for more than 2 years, and you write the professional exams. Now, the only occupational group that you do not need an examination is the engineering craftsmen. So we only look at the proficiency 2 and 4 years of experience, and you become an engineering craftsman. After 10 years of practice, you can become a master engineering craftsman. And for the past 2 years or so, we've been able to admit over 1,005, Aisha, you can correct me, over 1,005 engineering craftsmen. Am I right?
That's right, Engineer Chair.
Yeah, thank you. Now, there are candidates. So beyond all this, there are candidates who can come through what we call the matured route. So these are candidates, so it can be any of the occupational groups. These are candidates, they may not have the requisite engineering academic qualification of the various occupational group, but they have experience in engineering for considerable number of years. The last definition we gave was that for professional engineers should be at least 15 years. And for the rest, it should be 10 years. And your age should be more than 40 or more for professional engineers and professional engineering technologies, or 35 years or more for engineering craftsmen or engineering technicians. Then we can go through the mature candidates. In that case, the examination, you do not actually write an examination. We do some technical review. You do an engineering report, and then we do a technical review, and we send it for marking. So it's not the usual examination. And after that, you can be admitted through the matured routes. So how do you apply to become a member? So mainly you need to start with your career reports. A report basically talking about your career, about yourself. And these are the basic components. You need a cover page with your name, your full name, GHIE number. And why GHIE number? Because it's assumed that when you are applying for the examination, you are already a trainee and you have a GHIE number. Your current address, your telephone number, email should be on the cover page, and your technical focus area. So if you're an electrical engineer and your focus is on power systems, you add that on the cover page. So if you are a chemical engineer and you are into manufacturing, you indicate that, and the rest can continue. Then within the career report, normally you will have table of contents, but basically you will have your personal data, your bio data, your educational background, your professional affiliation. So if you belong to any other professional group, you should state that. And then your career, basically your chronological report for your engineering career, where you state that, okay, I worked in this particular place, I graduated, I started from here, this is the company I worked, and you give brief details about the company and what you did. So that is what the career report will say. And typically we are saying that it should be between 2,500 to 3,000 words. And it should also include any continuous professional development that you've undertaken over the period, i.e., if you've done any training post your academic degree within your organization. Maybe they've sent you for some training, so those are, or you've done some trainings with GHI, you should state it. So these are the details that you need to include in your career report. So I've already explained this, so I'll not go over. I think these are clear. So how do you apply? Once again, the link is as shown. Because you get this, I don't want to mention this then. So when you enter the link, you put in your necessary details and also upload your necessary certificates and your career reports. And then I must say that this online system that we are currently was done by Process and Plant. They develop it for us for administering our exams. So in principle, currently our examination is fully online. Our examination is fully online. Okay. So now let's go through the application process. I think these ones I've gone through. So if the screen can be seen, so when you register, first, I know most of you have not registered as a trainee professional engineer. So to start, those of you who are not training professional engineers, you need to register first as training professional engineers. So you need to give us your basic bio data, your first name, last name, nationality, email, phone number, your gender, then your if you have other names, date of birth, address, your educational information, mainly where you went to school, and we've preloaded most of the schools in them. So if your school is not there, please kindly contact the secretariat. Richard, later on, I'll give you the email address of Richard, Madam Aisha, and all those, Madam Adobia, they will assist you. And then they will upload your school in the system, then you can select, and the year of graduation. Then you upload your photographs and your certificates and additional document, at least for the training professional engineer. Now, after you do that, you need to make some payments as a trainee professional engineer, and then you'll be notified and be given a number, and the secretariat will handle that. Now that you're a training professional engineer, you can now go and if you have the requisite experience, you can now start the examination process. So to start the examination process, you should have a GHIE number. So you enter your GHIE number and you'll be given a token, and then you select the examination that you want to take. And that is it. So the moment you enter and a token will be given based on your phone, because we already have your data in our system based on your phone distance. And then you can start the application for examination. And it's the same process once again. If you've already registered, some of the information in terms of your surname, other name, gender are already in our system, so that shouldn't be a problem. Then you can select your occupational group, area of specialty, as I talked about earlier on. Then your academic qualification, you can add all your academic qualifications. So as you can see, here is new role, and that will be added. Then you need proposers and supporters. So these are already people who are members of our institution, who are in good standing. Now, for professional engineers, you need a fellow to propose you. So if you know the person, you add his name, and the person will be notified to accept. And then the supporters are normally people, either senior professional engineers or professional engineers who support you. Then you give your employment. So the same thing on your career report will be inputted here. Your continuous professional development will be inputted here. Then you will now add other supporting documents, specifically your certificates. You scan them in PDF and include them. Your career report, as I talked about, you scan and you put them, and your photographs and all other information that you have can be browsed and can be scanned and placed on the system. Then you go to the payment aspect. So based on, we will do what we call a review, or what we typically use the word screening. And if you meet the requirements, we will send you a bill. For now, the professional examination is around 1,000 cedis. So we'll send you a bill, and when you pay, then we'll schedule you for the examination. So the next thing I want to talk about is the examination itself. So the examination is done based on your technical division. I've talked about the 4 technical divisions, so I don't need to repeat them. Mainly the timing for the examination. This year we are doing 3 examinations: the April, May, examination, which I believe most of you are going to do. Then we have the July-August examination. Then we have the October-November examination. So this year, these are the plans, our plan for our examination. However, there can be special examinations for sometimes certain branches may want some special examination or institutions. But those special examinations for institutions, we will typically not organize them. We will typically organize them when we have more than 20 candidates, and it comes with some additional cost. But and generally, we panel members, professional engineers, between 3 to 5 to examine you. So these are people who are already experienced, and they will examine you. So I think all of you saw this advert and the dates and the various timeline. Specifically, I just want to add that from tomorrow up to the 19th of April, the portal will be opened for the submission of your career reports and completing the online system. Between the 29th and 29th of April and 10th of May, we'll be doing the written examination in Accra. The branches will be doing it on a Saturday on the 11th of May and the 18th of May. And then the oral and technical, so forgive us, they are oral exams, but I'll explain what we normally call the oral, and the technical review will be done on the 25th of May and the 1st of June at the various branches and also in Accra. So that is the plan for this year's examination, this April-May examination. I think the rest during the next pre-exams workshop, we will talk about those ones. That is the July-August and the October-November examinations. Now, so we've talked about the examination. I talked about the fact that it's made up of 3 components: the technical review, which forms 40% of the examination, the general interview, which forms 30%, and the essay or the written, which forms 30% of the examination. Generally, you need 50% in each of them to be able to pass. So if you get 50 in the technical, 50 in the general interview, and 50 in the essay, you've passed the examination. However, if for some reason you fail only the written exams, you pass the rest, you can rewrite only the written. If you also fail the general interview and pass the essay and the technical, you can rewrite them. However, if you fail the technical, irrespective of your score in the essay and the general interview, you fail the entire examination and you need to resit. So for resit, if you fail only the essay and you are resitting, you pay half of the amount that you pay to do the full examination. But if you fail any of the other components, so assuming you fail the technical, then you are supposed to do the entire exams. So you pay the full amount that any new person will pay. All right. Now, so let's go into the details. So when we say technical review is a 10 minutes presentation. It's typically a PowerPoint presentation, and take note. So don't bring a Word document. Do a PowerPoint presentation, focusing on a technical areas or specific project, activity, task, or process that you have done. So it's more of like the highlight of your career, and you are doing a 10 minutes presentation. Then, so normally the examination will start with the technical review. When you are done, the panel members will ask you questions on the technical review. Okay. And then you can go to the general interview. The general interview is based on your career reports, what you've stated in your career reports. So, and mainly that is, so they will go through your career report. You said you work in Unilever, you are involved in this, maybe the processing of this particular product, and you made some chemicals here and there. So they will ask you things related to what you said you've done, and your understanding of the codes, your understanding of manual standards and the procedure. These are health and safety issues and code of ethics of GHIE. They will also ask you questions and current affairs. So that is basically what they will ask in the general interview. The general interview, as I said, is only 30%, but it's scored in such a way that they'll be looking at your communication skills, which forms 20% of 25%. Then how you presented your career report, it forms 10%. Then the content basically of your career report and how you answer the questions will form 65% of the general interview. Typically, this should last between 20 to 30 minutes. Then we have the written examination aspect of the examination, which is basically an essay. You are given 6 questions and you are required to answer only one. Some years ago, they have what we call engineering society. So basically that's what the written exams is about. We want you to demonstrate your ability to write clearly and concise English, a deep understanding of the role of engineering society, and basically understanding of management concepts and in engineering. So that's what the written exams is about. And generally, it's also presentation. Will mark your presentation and language is 30%, and your treatment of the subject, whether you understand the question, your contribution of new ideas, and your demonstration of personal experience. This forms in total 70% of your score. So let's look at some typical questions in the written exams. So what we've done so far, we've looked at the technical review, which forms 40%. We've looked at the general interview, which forms 30%, and the written exams. So now the written exams, it's not, let me say, technical division specific. You don't need to be a civil engineer or a chemical engineer or electrical engineer to answer the questions. What we are saying is engineering society. So irrespective of your discipline, you should be able to answer at least one of the 6 questions that you'll be given. So we have these samples that are available, but let me randomly take one question. So it says, write a paper to argue for or against the involvement of engineers in the realization of government flagship program of 1 district, 1 factory, 1 village, 1 dam. So these are government flagship programs, and whether engineers should be involved or not. So this is an argumentative essay or paper, and structure is important, but any engineer should be able to argue on this particular topic. Let me look at the last question because of where we are finding ourselves at the moment. Prescribe solutions for addressing the deficit of electrical energy in Ghana, considering alternative sources of power production. So I know energy, someone will say is for the electrical engineers, but on the lighter note, those who are professional engineers, you all did some basic electricity and electronics, so you should be able to write something about energy, electricity, and argue about it. Then let me look through again if I can. All right, so because of where I work, let me take number 2. There has been a public outcry of poorly constructed roads and other public infrastructure, which fail within a short time after completion. What, in your opinion, are the causes and the role of engineers play in arresting this menace? So I believe such a question we can all contribute to it. And there are other questions I don't want to listen, but you can look through. Let me look at some more management questions. Compare the advantages and disadvantages of financing infrastructure development from public and private sources. So this is an old, with a recent disaster, this is long ago, but Boeing 737 MAX, which has unofficially been blamed on computer software errors. What, in your view, should be the approach of engineers in the use of computers with their work? Highlight the attendant risk involved in adopting computerized method and how they can be minimized. So use your field of practice as the basis for the answer. So I can say that most often, this is a trick for the written exams. Think about what is happening around the country, within the country, around the time you are doing the exams. And you should be sure that there will be a question related to that. Although we have over 200 questions on the answer system, and it's randomized. So you'll not be getting the same set of 6, even if you are sitting by your neighbor. I'll talk about some other issues to get into the end, where we have an AI system in our system to be able to detect whether one is cheating. But just so right now, you should expect, because energy is a major issue, so something related to energy, you should, this year is an election year, so there's something related to engineers in politics may come in this examination. So just think around some of the issues that are happening, and you shouldn't bother so much about the written examination. Now, when you write the examination, I've given you the dates, then the panel will grade, and they will submit it to each and every technical division has a subcommittee chair, and then they will finally bring it to the membership committee. We will review and then send it to council for council to review and approve. And then after council approves, we will publish. This takes a period of 3 months. So after your examination, after 3 months, your results should be published because of the process that it goes through. Generally, when it's published online, and you'll be notified. those of you who could not go through, you'll be sent an email, but those of you who went through, your names will be published. If someone has any issue with anyone who has passed, you have 30 days to say that Patrick passed, but you think Patrick shouldn't have passed, and so you want to raise an objection to those who have been published. For those who are not successful, you can also write to the executive director to make a formal complaint and to investigate why you failed. But normally, the executive director will write to explain to you why you failed, and if there are anything that and we are not here to fail people. We want to help people to be our members. So normally, if, for example, you have a peculiar challenge, the panel members will inform us and we will explain to you and helping you to be able to pass the examination. As I said, unsuccessful candidates will be notified about their weakness, and we've done that several times to the extent that can I be heard?
Yes, we can hear you. We can hear you.
Yeah. To the extent that there are some candidates who we've given mentors, we've even gone through some training for them so that they can pass the exams the next time they sit. So the focus is not to fail you. At least going through your degree, we know that you are ready. Sometimes it's the experience that you may not have gotten. Now, after the 30 days, we will notify you of a date for induction. And it is after the induction ceremony is a public ceremony where you take the engineer's oath and you'll be awarded your certificates. Those of you who are professional engineers will be given your engineering stamp. And of course, there are fees associated with the ceremony, and you'll be notified. Normally will be asked to bring some additional information from the secretariat for the brochure, and then you'll be inducted. It's after you take the engineer's oath that you become a full member. So you can go through all this process, but if you don't take the engineer's oath, you are not a full member of our institution until you take the engineer's oath. So that is also very key. So what are the next steps? I just want to say that I will jump a few things. The dates have been published. Now, one of the things we've added to our examination is what we are calling the AI proctoring. So we are going to the stage that you can even sit at the comfort of your home and do the online examination, the written. But with the AI proctoring, we don't need people around. So if we are cheating, the system is able to know that you are cheating. And we are spending a lot in that. On your part, what you need is stable internet, because all the examination is going to be online. For the written exams, for now, the branches and the secretariat, you can come there and do it. And that we can assure of a stable internet. But the oral and technical review, you should ensure that you have stable internet. And then that shouldn't be a problem. At least today I've had challenges with internet, and we understand some of these challenges. With time, things will improve, and you can do that. So on that note, just if you have any issues, please, let's direct them to the secretariat, and Madam Aisha will give you the emails, and also you have my email address. We are there for you. We are there to help you. So do not worry. We'll respond to your emails and address your peculiar challenge. Sometimes it could be technical challenge from your end. And on this note, I will want to end. And if there are any questions, I'll take them using the platform that we have. Thank you very much. Madam Aisha, over to you. Hello.
Engineer Chair, sorry, I lost you a bit.
Okay, thank you. I'm done.
Okay.
I think I will go ahead and let me see.
It's question time.
There are questions in the chat room. So let me use and there are hands that are raised. So what I'm going to do is that I'll take some few from the chat room. And then after that, I'll come to those who have raised their hand and call them. So in the chat room, okay, +1 people. Yes, so Emmanuel upon Boache, yes, the slides will be available after this. I'll Richard, we'll put it online, am I right? So you can access it online. I'll just send it to Richard and you can access it online on our website and download it. Okay. And also there is a recording available. So Richard, later on you can come and see. I think normally they place it on YouTube and other distance. So for Peter, please, that is the response to your question. Okay, so okay, Adobe answered you earlier on, so thank you. Sorry, Ajwa talk about, yes, industrial engineering and the mechanical. Yes, so industrial engineering, depending on Ajwa, it depends on your practice. So it can, in industrial engineering, there are industrial engineers that also deal with systems. And so depend on your practice, you can go mechanical, you can even go electrical, electronics. So yes, for now, yes, if you are an industrial engineer, look at what you are doing and then we can place you at the right technical division. Then, yes, do you have to reapply when resitting? When you are resitting, for now, you notify us that you are resitting because we already have your system. You don't need to go through the same rigorous process. So Kenneth, that is the issue. Y S plus Y. Wow. I made a complaint to the executive director, but I have not received a reply from his office. Does the applicant have to pay the full amount for a receipt? So as I said, SY, so the response, please, I don't know who you wrote to, but I know the Secretariat is very efficient in responding to our emails. So please let us know, but Madam Aisha will give the email, their emails again and display it. And if you want further information, they will assist you. As I said, for receipts, if you are receipting for only the written, you pay half the fees. If you are receipting for the entire exams, yes, you pay the full fee because it costs us the same because of the software that we are dealing with. Please, Joshua, I had an oral exams in general. I have not received any communications from the institution. Okay, Joshua, okay. So what should I do? Please, Joshua, email me and Aisha with your details, and I will know what to do. Evans, so I'll take 2 more from Evans and Evans. Thank you, sir, for this workshop. Please, I want to ask, assuming one wants to raise it for a particular area.
Will you exercise a little patience for these people? Honestly, the way you are doing this foolishness, I don't even want to
Christopher.
Because I advise you.
Christopher.
Yes.
Can someone mute Christopher? Secretary. Okay. So for a particular, they go through the same process. So I think even Amwa, I have already explained the fact that if you are reciting the process you go through. So then the last one for now, before I come to Patrick, is please, is there a way for people who are out of the country? Yes, actually now, Robert, if you are out of the country, you do not need to be here. Let us know and we will assist you to do the exams. Because of now the AI proctoring and all those things. So Robert, let us know that you're out of the country and we'll assist you. So for those of you who have your hand up, I'll take it in the order that is shown on my screen. But if your question has already been addressed, I will kindly request that you lower your hand so that we don't have a lot of repetitions. So for now, I'll start with David. David, you have the floor. David, yeah.
My question is that I received a mail from the institute stating that if you are doing a research, you don't have to pay. Yes, for the institution, that if you are doing a research, you don't have to pay. And secondly, too, we are supposed to send them a mail stating that we want to know the results so that we can be able to better where we didn't pass. So now you are saying we have to pay. So I'm now a bit confused whether I'm supposed to pay or I'm not supposed to pay. Because the letter they sent to me this, and then they never also replied our mail when we wanted to know the results, since we're not able to go through.
All right, thank you very much. David, so so you are right. Now the system we're using previously, we did not have any charges for we did not have any charges. So for those who were doing research, it was for free. Actually, the institution does not exist to make profits. We are non-for-profit. This decision has come out just recently as a result of the current changes in the software. Now, for those of you who did the previous exams and you are doing the receipts, if it is the receipt is for only oral, then you do not have to pay anything. If it's for only oral, but if you are doing the receipt for the entire examination, David, I hope you get it. Then you have to pay because of our agreement with the provider. Please, do you understand? Now, David, are you following? Now, it's unfortunate that you said that your emails have not been responded, but Madam Aisha, and Richard, hello.
Engineer Chair,
Hello.
I can hear you.
Yes. Yes. I don't know, because I know that for all those who failed, we send them the reasons why they failed. So David's issue comes as a surprise to me. So David, I will request that you will send an email to me and let's follow through your issue. Okay.
Okay, thank you very
David.
much. I'm great.
Well, so let's go to the next on the, David, you can lower your hand. The next on the line is forgive. Forgive, you have the floor.
All right. Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening. Yeah. Thank you for your presentation. I think you did a wonderful job.
Yeah.
Now, my question is, do you have offices across all the 16 regions?
Okay. No. So as I said, we operate based on geographical location, not the other region. So for example, in the northern region, we have the 5 northern regions. Their office is in Tamale, not an office, but a branch, a chair is in Tamale.
Okay.
But we do not have a physical office. We have a physical office in Kumasi. We have one in Takoradi, physical office that you can go to in Takoradi. That's Takoradi serves Central Region, Western Region, and Western North. And then we have the Greater Accra one. Then the Kumasi one is now on KNUST campus, and that serves Obuasi and the Kumasi enclave. Then Madam Aisha, please, can you confirm whether we have one for the Bono East, the one in UNE? Is there an office there, please?
No, Engineer Chair. We do not have an office.
We do not have an office there, but there are branches over there who can assist you. Yes. So forgive, that's what I can say.
Okay. All right. So I am in Tamale. Can I take my exams in Tamale?
Yes. So yes. Yes. So when you are applying, you give us your location. Maybe I didn't emphasize that as part of the examination application, you will give us the place you want to sit for the exams. If you want to do it in Greater Accra, and it will be there. So you just choose that I want to sit in branch 5 or branch 4. All right. All right.
Okay. Thank you for.
Can you lower your hand so that I can go to the next person, Peter Dixon? Peter, you have the floor.
Thank you very much, sir. A very good presentation. Points well made were clear. I wanted to ask, I've been in the cement industry manufacturing for 15 years. Is there any waiver or I have to go through the same process like a beginner, you know?
Okay. Send me an email with your CV.
Okay.
So I didn't, and copy Madam Aisha and Madam Adubia. I have to say that, so we have another route I didn't talk about, what we call confirmation hearing. So these are people who meet all the requirements, i.e. They are professional engineers. Sorry, not professional engineers. They have the engineering degree. They have experience of 15 years and above. 15 years and above. And that's practice of engineering for 15 years and above. And they are reputable. I mean, people know them, high distance. So in those places, situation, you can come through the confirmation hearing. In that case, you only do an oral interview.
Okay.
Oral interview. So we will set a panel, but the fees and charges are different. It's a little higher. Madam Adobia has those details. But if you want to go through that, send me your CV and we will process you through that.
All right. Thank you very much.
Most welcome. So if you don't mind, if you can lower your hand so that I can go to the next person. So if you can lower your hand so that I get the next person. The next person should be Owusu Ansah. Owusu Ansah, you have the floor.
Yeah.
Francis, can you lower your hand, please?
Thank you. Good evening.
Good evening.
Hello.
Yeah, good evening.
I failed my oral examination, so I was told to resit. But yes. I had a bit of concern during the presentation, and I would like to bring it forward, and so that the institution will see how best they can help some of us. So I presented something on quality control, which I did.
Hold on, also. So this is more of a specific complaint on your results, am I right?
Yes.
Would you mind sending me an email so that we discuss the specific issue, if you don't mind?
Okay, that's it. Okay, that's
so it. Because then it will be an assessment of a panel member and the panel members. So I think it will be appropriate if we handle it one-on-one. Is that okay with you?
Okay, that will be fine.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. All right. So Francis, do you have another question? Francis?
That's a different Francis. No, this is Francis from Trent.
Okay. Oh, okay. So Francis, please, you have the floor. Sorry for that. Owusu, you can lower your microphone. Owusu, Ansah, please. You can. Sorry, lower your hand and then yeah, you can lower your hands. I'm using that to get the order. So Francis, you have the floor.
Yes, sir. First, thank you very much for such an amazing presentation. Very, very clear and on point. I just have a simple question, which was that was when I saw the screen on the online portal registration, where you have to go through that and then you do the payment or something. But some of us, when we applied, we emailed the scanned copies of the filled form, and then we later received the GI number. So are we to go and do that online application that has been done at the back end already for us?
Okay. So you did, that was for the TP, am I right, Francis?
Yes, that's the TP, and I went to I did the payment as well.
That's for the TP.
Yes. I sent the scan information and I received the GHI number.
So then you are okay for the GHI number, but now you need to apply for the examination. So when you go to the portal, you go for applying for examination, not to become a TPE. So in that case, you put in your GHI number and it will give you a token so that you can enter the token, because we already have your details in our system. Now, if for some reason it doesn't, you don't get the token, please kindly call Richard, and I'm going to give you Richard this thing. He will input your number. Sometimes we have your data in the system, but your number is not there. Do you get it? So that you don't receive the automatic text message. So we are updating those things. So immediately you should receive that automatic text message.
Okay. And the link will be shared, or it's on the website for application.
Yeah, it will be shared, but it's part of this presentation. But after this, I'll let Aisha and Richard re-emphasize that. So if you want to copy, or Madam Adobia, thank you for your assistance. Can you put the link in the chat room so that those who want to copy directly can do that? Thank you. Francis, you can lower your hand.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you.
Ima,
Yeah.
Iman, please, you are next on the line. Ima, you have the floor.
I have two.
Hello.
First
Is it my end?
can I be heard?
Ima, can you speak a little louder?
Hello, can I be heard?
Okay, yeah, it is better now. You can go ahead.
Okay. Thank you, Engineer Chair. So I have two questions that I want to ask. The first is sometimes engineers move around a lot. Probably I registered in Accra. By the time that I am supposed to come, I am not in Accra, but maybe I'm at, let's say, Adanse, let's say in the Ashanti region. With that, how do I get right the exams? And the second is, do we have an actual requirement, like let's say a format, career report, and written exam, a prepared that the institution will, if they have, can we have that? And if they don't, can we know? Thank you.
All right. I think if I got your question, it was a little low, but I think I got the gravamen of your question. The first aspect of your question is in relation to the location for the examination. So for the written exams is the key thing. For the oral and technical review, you can be anywhere. All you need is internet service. So you don't need to be in Accra or any other place. You can be outside the country and you can do the oral and technical. Now for the written exams, that's why you determine the location. So for these exams, we've given you the dates. We've given you the dates. So if you are sure that in May, you will be in Kumasi, then when you are selecting the location for the examination, you select Ashanti region. It doesn't matter where you originally registered, but for these exams, you have to select the location where you want to write the examination. So that answers the first part of your question. I hope that you are clear with that.
Yes, sir. I'm clear with that. But what if probably I have to quick, if possible, if I have to?
You have to what?
For example,
you have to what? You have to.
If I have to change locations, for example.
Yes, if you have to change location, then you have to notify us ahead of time.
Okay, sir.
So you cannot change location all of a sudden. Otherwise, it affects our planning.
Okay, sir. That is fine. I get you, sir. Please.
Now, the second aspect of your question is sample career reports and all those things. So the structure is what I gave you in the presentation. But if you have you need a sample, Madam Aisha, I think we have some sample career report we used to put online. We can upload that online and you can look at those sample career reports. Let's just get the names of of the applicants out, and then we can upload them so that they can look at them. A very good one. So yes, that can be made available for you. So it shouldn't be a problem. There's nothing hidden.
Thank you very much.
Most welcome. So I will take two more, then I will go to the chat room. So the number one here is Akwesi. Akwesi, you have the floor.
Thank you very much, Engineer Patrick Amo. That was a wonderful presentation. I have a couple of questions. The first one is on the.
A couple. All right, continue. Sorry.
Yes, so the first one is on the continuous professional development. I wanted to find out if it is compulsory to take the courses that are designed by GHIE or any professional development course that has been taken after our first degree can be used. And the second is the supporters for the application. I applied in the last quarter of last year, and in the process, I realized there is a place we need to select some senior professional engineers. But I went through the list and I couldn't see anyone familiar. So in that case, I was limited to selecting anyone at all. And as to whether they would support my application, that I do not know. The last question was what my colleague Mano asked about the.
Okay, if it's asked, then it's okay.
Yes, so yeah.
Okay. All right, so I let me start with the last one, the second one that you just. So yes, eventually, because I'll call it a transition that we find ourselves. Some of even your bosses are not professional engineers, so sometimes it's difficult for them to support you or propose you. So for the past 1 year, we've been using this system. We've been a little lax about it. This particular exams, the rule is that these are people whom you know and you have spoken to, and they can testify about you. So these are your superiors or people you've worked with before who will propose you and support you. For now, we have the list of those in good standing. Sometimes if there's a challenge, so you select them. If there's a challenge, they will now look at your career report and use that as a basis to support you. So go ahead and select, and that will be done. I think the first aspect of your question, if I got it right, is in relation to, can you help me? I think I missed.
Okay, it's in relation to the continuous professional development.
Yeah, sorry, thank you. Yeah, is the continuous professional examination. Yes, so you can take it from anywhere. We have actually a continuous professional development guideline online, and it's although we prefer those taken from our institution, it can be from any other institution. All we need is that you've been learning, you have always been learning as an engineer. That's all that we need, not necessarily the source. Okay. So Frank.
Thank you.
Frank.
Yes.
So yes, you have the floor.
Thank you, sir. All right. Good evening, and then thank you for the amazing presentation. I have a question. Actually, the last year I applied, but unfortunately, I was told that I didn't have an organogram in my career report. So even though I tendered in the career report, they told me it was declined. I tendered in another one again in the second cohort, but unfortunately, that one I didn't get the feedback. And my second question is, I already made the payment when it was around 600 and something Ghana cedis. So I don't know if the new modifications that has come would affect my payment that I already made some couple of years ago. Thank you, sir.
Okay. So first of all, I'm surprised the lack of organogram. I don't know who told you that, whether it was an official communication, because as you noticed that in the general interview,
yes,
the
please.
presentation
It was
through an email. Frank. Hello. Hello, Frank.
Hello, sir.
Yeah, you said it was through an email.
Yes, please. And I think an official GHI email.
I wish you can forward that to me because this is strange. We don't
Okay.
use only career report to stop you from writing the examination. So I will want to go through. Now, the other aspect of your question is whether if you paid and you didn't write.
Yes, I paid. Okay.
But you were not allowed to write, or you didn't show
Because
up.
the career report was declined, I couldn't move on to the oral and then the written examination.
All right. So
Yes.
send an email to myself and Aisha, give the details and evidence of the payment, and I think we will take it up from there. Okay.
All right. Thank you, Engineer Chair.
Yeah, most welcome. I think I was saying that I was going to go to the chat room, but so far it's been male dominated, and I only see one female. Is there any female? Please, if there's a female hand up, please. You have the floor. I know, Christopher, you are not a female, so please, before I go to the chat room. All right, so I will go to the chat room. I'll be back. Let's go to the chat room. I think I can see that Madam Adobia has answered most of the question. I think I was at Patrick Boatsen at the time. That was 6 Barnabas. Madam Adobia has answered most of the questions. So, and Aisha has answered. Yes, so, yes. So, Aisha has answered most of the questions. Adobia, can we mute? Yes. So, Mark, yes, Mark, I think we are not here to talk about this, but Mark, the answer to your questions, Mark Jabba, the answer is yes. Not only GHI, yeah. Okay, so Osman Hudu, I think the details are given. From tomorrow, you can start submitting your information, apply. Okay. Okay, Kin. Yes. So they reach it. They can upload it to the YEA platform, and I can do that myself also. So Barnabas. So YB, whether internship and national service, depending on what you did. So it is not the years, it's the experience. So if you're doing your internship, so internship is when you're in school. Internship is not part of your postgraduate, it's postgraduate. But national service, depending on what you did, can count towards your experience. I hope you get it. All right, then Dr. Yes, so Dr. Kevo, yes, so for academics, your experience is basically your academic writing. So we consider that. So that shouldn't be a problem. I think I've addressed all those, and Madam Adobia and Aisha have also addressed the rest of the questions. I think there was a question from Patrick Boateng. Let me see. It says, please, Okay. Okay, so Patrick, yes, okay, Madam Aisha will look at it and get back to you, Patrick Watson. Echo. Oh, okay. Okay, Echo, I'm not getting your question, but I think you said, do you do a general one or do your career report? Or it should be a specific project you have. So that the technical review can be specific projects. So that's what I'll say. So I will come back to those with their hands raised. And so let me start with Frank. You have the floor. Frank Obin. Frank Obin. I want us to end in the next 10 minutes. Frank, you have the floor. Frank. Okay, then Christopher, you have the floor.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Please, my questions are two. My first question is, I registered as a member and my number was given to me, but the number, it's just the number. They didn't add the TPE. So I wanted to find out if the number is active. And the second question is, in my field of study, I do civil engineering. I normally visit the site for maybe for construction, and also I do designs. So I don't know which one should I emphasis on when it comes to the technical review.
Okay. Then I'll start with the last one. That one depends on you. What do you think you are confident about? Then if you've registered as a TP, and you've been given the number, it's still valid. So just contact Madam Adobia. She will assist you and confirm that for you. Okay.
Okay.
All
Thank
right.
you, sir.
Most welcome. So you can lower your hand so that I can go to Daniel Fojo. Dan, you have the floor. Christopher, you can lower your hand and.
Good evening, all. Thanks so much, Engineer Chair. I think most of the questions have been asked, but for the question that Peter Dixon asked in the cement industry, like if you've worked for 10, 15 years, whether, you've given some waiver or whatever, I was actually going to ask that and know whether you've given such a waiver. And the next question is having BSc Geological Engineering and maybe MSc Engineering Geology, which of the groups am I supposed to join?
Oh, okay. All right.
And and please, lastly, I did apply last year. I did a payment. I submitted my career reports, and I was expecting a mail or maybe a feedback, of which I didn't get. I don't know what happened, and I couldn't get. I know very well that this is the time for me to do that, but since I didn't get that feedback, I just want to know what to do next. Thanks.
Thank you, Dan. So let's take your issues. I think for the first one, I explained it. So for the confirmation hearing, you need 50 years of practice of engineering. But we'll look at other things. So if you want to go through that route, you can do that. I think the next aspect of your question is the fact that you did apply last year and you went through all the process, but you were not contacted. Please kindly submit those details to me and Madam Aisha will investigate and will know what to do. I think that shouldn't be a problem. If you need to be reinstated, we will do that in these exams. And we are sorry that we couldn't contact you. I think the last, there's a last one. I missed the last one.
Yeah, the group. I mean, geological engineering and engineering geology in medicine.
Yes, so those are under the civil technical division. However, you know, there are some geological engineers who, you know, depending on where they find mining, they find themselves, some may want to come under like the geotechnical aspect of geological engineering. So they normally end up in the civil, but those who are into the mining processes sometimes come under the chemical mining division. So it depends on your practice. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
So I cannot give you that you should go to civil. There are a lot of geological people who are under the civil technical division.
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks so much.
YB, most welcome, Dan. So please, I'll be expecting your email. YB.
Okay.
YB, you have the floor. Okay, then Seth Pedu, you have the floor. Seth, you have the floor. Seth, can you hear me? Okay. I'm jumping. I can see a female. Ophelia, please, number 10, but I'm giving you the floor.
Hi, good evening.
Yes, good evening.
Please, I registered as a TP in somewhere 2019. And initially, I heard my company was paying the, is it the yearly subscription or the dues? But I just got to know that for TPs, you would have to pay yourself. So recently, I made payments for all the years that I missed. But I only got a mail acknowledging receipt for only this year. So who do I follow up with to make sure like I've been cleared of everything?
Okay, the membership manager is on, Madam Aisha. Please, she will put her email at the chat in the chat room. So please contact her.
All right, thank you
She
very
will
much.
help resolve all those issues. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Intiamwa, you have the floor. Intiamwa.
Yeah, good evening. Thank you for the presentation.
Good evening.
Yeah,
Ophelia, you can lower your hand. Ophelia, you can lower your hand.
I think some of my questions have been answered, but I just want to confirm with the uploading of the document, especially the career report.
Yes.
Does it have to be scanned, or you can upload a PDF version?
You can just upload a PDF. You know, when you've typed everything, you convert them into PDF, and that should be okay.
All right. Thank you very much.
Most welcome. Anthony, you have the floor.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, Tony.
Sir, I have BTech in welding and fabrication, and I've worked for many years. Can I be registered for the professional engineer instead of the training professional engineer?
So BTech is equivalent to BSc in engineering. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So you have the basic engineering qualification. You've been doing welding, which is, I'm sure, is more mechanical. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
So you are qualified. Just submit your documentation. I don't screen. There's a team who screen, who are already mechanical engineers who will look at it and screen and come out with the assessment. But based on the evidence that you've given me, yes, you are qualified.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Most welcome. Emmanuel, you have the floor. Anthony, you can lower your hand. Emmanuel.
Engineer Chair,
Yes, please.
before Emmanuel comes in, I think I need a little clarification on the gentleman who just spoke. Is he already registered as a TPE? Because from the question he asked, it's like he wants to skip the TPE registration and just go directly to PE. Can he clarify what he meant by?
Okay, I now get you. Anthony, yeah. Is that what you meant?
Yes, sir.
Oh, no. So, okay, then for the TP, irrespective of your years of experience, to get the number, you need to register as a TPE.
Okay.
Then after that, you can register. You don't need to wait for the 3 years. Then you can register for the PE. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Thank you, Adobia, for. I think I didn't get a question. All right. Okay, thank you. You can lower your hand now. So, Emmanuel, you have the floor.
Yeah, Engineer Chair, thank you so much for your presentation. My question is very simple. I wanted to know at what point do you start paying your dues? That is my question.
Oh, you don't pay your dues, you pay your subscription. As I said, we are regulated by law to the Engineering Council. So when you become a full member, there are amounts you pay. When you're a TPE, a training professional engineer, so there are published amounts as has been agreed by the AGM of our council. So the day you apply, from the day you apply, you start paying your subscription. Let me put it that simply.
Okay. Thank you.
Right. Most welcome. Emil, you have the floor.
Okay, thank you and good evening. So my question is, yes. So I have a mechanical engineering background, but I practiced mechanical engineering, hardcore mechanical engineering for just about 1.5 years. Then I switched over to information and communication technology. So for so many years now, I've been doing more of information and communication technology. So I want to find out, will that have implications for me to register under mechanical?
All right. So I don't know the ICT that you do, but if you have the basic engineering degree, which is mechanical engineering, am I right? Now your practice is in ICT.
Sorry? Yeah.
Hello? Hello, can you hear me? Your practice, yes, your practice is in ICT, but you have the basis of mechanical engineering.
Oh, the line is breaking.
Oh, hello.
Yes, I can hear you now. There was a little break. Yes.
Okay. So you can sit for the exams in mechanical engineering and tell them the things that you've done. Or I hope you understand me. It's the practice that matters. And you can, let me put it this way, you can, based on your practice, we may either put you in, because they are ICT mechanical also, and it could be the ICT for electrical. So when you bring your career report, we will be able to determine the best place the screeners will determine the best place to place you. Is that clear, please? Hello? All right. Ima, can you lower your hand?
I think his line has gone off, but we got you. Thank you.
Ima, can you lower your hand? Emil, lower your hand. Then Christian, you have the floor. Because now time is far over, so fast. Christian, you have the floor.
Thank you very much, sir.
Good evening. Please, my question. Yes, it has to do with one, the MSc program that a prospective engineer has already done. So, for instance, me in particular, I did project management on my MSc. But when I was filling the TP forms, I was informed that it doesn't really count with the years that of practice. Yes, or the years that you be considered to be a PE. So
I don't
meanwhile,
hold on. Academic qualification is not experience.
Yes, please. My question is about the academic qualification.
It's not experience.
So,
You're talking about academic qualification. So what is your academic qualification? What is BSc in?
Yes, I did BSc in geomatic engineering and
So that's
MSc in project management.
No, we don't even look at MSc. The most important thing is your field. So don't worry about the second and third degree.
Okay, sir. And then again, with regards to the how do we call it? Sorry, it just gave me. I'm driving, so that's why.
That's
but
okay.
I wanted
drive safe. We need you alive. So park somewhere.
Yes, thank you. I just parked. So okay, I'll reserve for now. It seems it has kept me, so I'll reserve that.
Okay. You can put it in the chat room when it comes. And Tim, you have the floor.
Okay.
Once again, if your question has already been answered, talked about, you don't need to re-ask the question so that we can finish the last 5 questions. Okay, Tim, go ahead.
Yeah, good evening, please. I'm Timothy, and I did Tim for short. My question is basically on the academic qualification. I did HND mechanical engineering.
Yeah.
And then I practiced for about 6 years.
Yeah.
And later on, I did a BSc in mechanical engineering. Yeah. So do I qualify to apply for the TP, or have to apply as a BTech, with a HND since? Yes.
After the BSc, have you practiced?
I'm still practicing. And
no, I said
another
after.
question too.
Have you? Hold on. Let's take it one by one. Have you
so my question
graduated with your BSc? Hold on.
Yes, I'm done about 3 years ago.
So you don't need to go through. If you want the PE, you can apply for the PE.
So the other question too is, though I did mechanical, but I found myself in Ghana Water, and I'm at operation, which comes with more or less like project, and then the repair of belts and leakages and servicing of flow valves and stuffs, which is more or less civil.
Is that not also mechanical? We all did
It's
fluid
mechanical.
We all did fluid mechanics, and we all did pumps. We all did valves.
Exactly.
Is that not mechanical? So you understand the engineering, so you should be able to sit for the mechanical exams.
All right, all right.
Yes.
All right. Thank you very much.
Most welcome. All right, so we go to Kwegu Dankwa. Kwegu.
Yes, sir. Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening, engineer.
Good evening. Let's go.
Good. Thank you for the presentation, and it's been very understanding so far. Where I have an issue is the panel. The panel.
Yeah.
I will be doing a research this time. The panel. Sometimes I don't know, but can I ask if you review the panel and how they go about the questioning, and then especially the presentation, and then the career report, because
Okay,
usually
so
they get to.
we do panelist workshop. I think if you check this thing, we train our panel, and I must say that of course they are not perfect. So if there are issues that you've had with a panel, please, there are processes. You can lodge a complaint, and then we'll investigate.
Okay, sir.
I hope.
Okay, sir.
Yeah,
All
and
right.
we have
I understand.
strict guidelines for all our panel members. So if you think that someone did not act professionally, I think you can complain. And we've had a few complaints, and we've gone through processes for investigation and come to the logical conclusion. So be rest assured that if there are any challenges, we will deal with them. Okay. So the last person, Fred, I'll not be able to take your question. Can you type it in the chat room? Fred just joined. The Ophelia may be the last person. So let's go to because Collins.
Okay, thank you very much. Yes, so I just need a little clarification.
Yes.
So concerning the exam, and based on wherever I'm located, can I register for any of the 3 times given?
Yeah, I mean, if you are not comfortable with this time, you can look at the next of the exams. You can register anytime you think you are ready. So it doesn't necessarily have to be this time of the year.
Okay,
Yeah.
and the next one is that so does it mean that another workshop is going to be organized for the
Exactly.
Okay.
Yes.
And
So for every
okay.
exams, we'll do a workshop for that.
Okay. And then my next question is that you said the results will be provided in 3 months.
Yeah.
Yes, 3 months. So that 3 months, is it counting from the last examination that we are going to do?
Yes.
Or
Yes. So it will count from, in this case, in May, the last day of the exams, the May 18th
in May?
also. Yeah.
Okay.
For the
So
results to be published.
Mhm.
So, 1st June plus 3 months. So we are saying that after the last person write the exams on 1st June, we will normally will give the examiners a month maximum. So these are maximum dates. Then it will go to council depending on this thing. And then after that, so by 3 months, we would have published the exams. That's what that I said.
Okay, so what I'm trying to say is that the last examination is on October, November examination.
Yes.
So maybe if I write the examination in May, is my results going to the 3 months period? Is it going to start counting from the last examination, which is October, November, or
no, from that time you wrote the exams?
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. And my last concern is that can we get your email available, because I don't know how I'm going to get your email. I've been
And
trying
then
to.
you've not been following the conversation. We've said it several times. It's been in a presentation. Even if you go to the chat room, they've made it available there. So it's available. It's on the presentation that I gave. It will be made available. But if you just go to the chat room in this and then my email, Madam Aisha's email, Madam Adobia's email.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, they are all there. All right. So Evans, Donald, you have the floor. Most welcome.
Okay, thank you, Junior Chair, and good evening once again. And thank you for your presentation and clarification. My question goes to I'm a mechanical engineer, but I started with HND.
Okay.
And practiced in the building industry for 10 years, and later did my top up to have my BSc.
Okay.
I applied for to the institution last year. After that was last year. After that, after my BSc in 2022, and I wanted to write the examination. We were 3 in number, but we were declined because we were told we have not met the minimum practice duration. We try to explain that we are not fresh graduates. We are HND holders who have 10 years, 8 years, 9 years experience.
Okay, Evans, let me come in.
Okay.
I know what you are talking about. So, first of all, I kept using the word post-qualification experience. So, for example, I have an HND, okay? I've worked for 10 years. I just got my BSc. What I said is that you need a minimum of 2 years post BSc to be considered for PE. If you had applied as a professional engineering technologist, then you meet the requirement. But since you are applying for PE, the experience you were having that 10 years was based on HND experience. I hope you are getting me.
Yes, please.
So we don't count experience retrospective. Otherwise, do you know what will happen? What we are seeing is that if, for example, I am a craftsman and I practiced 15 years as a craftsman, the day I get a degree, I'm equivalent to someone who has a degree and has practiced 4 years. Because I was practicing that 15 years with craftsman knowledge. I hope you get it.
Yes, please.
Okay. So now I've drawn the clarity based on that check post-degree, the experience that you have. And if you meet the requirement, the screeners, they are not difficult. They will do the right thing. Okay.
Okay. Okay. So it means this year I cannot apply unless next year.
When did you get your degree?
2022.
2022. And when did you start working after the 2022?
I've been working. I've been still doing my active service. Yes, I've still been my active service.
Depending on the month that you graduated in 2022, assuming you graduated in June, then this year in the November, October, November exams, you can sit.
Okay, I graduated in September. The certificate was awarded in November 2022. Okay. So can I sit for this year's October, November examination?
Yeah, you can apply. I think so. I think so.
Okay. Okay.
You can apply.
Okay. Thank you very much.
So when you bring it, then the screeners will look at it. And unfortunately, I'm not the final decision making. We work on committees, so. Okay. But if there are any queries, you can always bring them. All right.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Ophelia, I'm giving you the last word, and then I'll hand over to the secretary.
Okay. Okay, good evening once again. Please, when you were talking about the career report, you said something about technical focus area. For example, let's say for a civil engineer, maybe you've done a little with water, you've done a little with road. Can you list all of them? Okay, not all of them.
Yeah. So that's your career. All the things that you've done, basically.
Okay. Okay.
All
I know
the things
you
that
put
is
it
your
in the
career report.
but at the beginning you said something about technical focus area. So I was thinking maybe it was limited to one.
So the technical focus area is basically, so right now, so for example, let me use civil engineering. You know,
Okay.
civil engineering, if I'm not exaggerating, you can have about 7 areas that you can practice. Roads, highway, transportation,
Water
traffic,
supply,
water supply, and all those things, geotechnical, and all those things. Maybe early part of your career, you've been doing a little bit of each, am I right? I mean, depending on where you find yourself.
Yeah.
But now you are into water supply systems, and maybe that's what you are doing. So your focus area that you want them to focus a lot of your questions on should be water supply systems. Maybe you are working in Ghana Water and you are dealing with maybe distribution. So that is what you think you're a master on. And typically that is what you will do your technical review on. So that's why you want, that becomes your focus area. I hope that is clear.
Yes, that's very clear. Thank you very much.
Most welcome. All right. So on that note, it's been a wonderful time. On my part, I think I've enjoyed it. I wish you all the best. I'm looking forward in the next few months that you all be inducted, because that is the joy that I have when we see a lot of people getting inducted. We also acknowledge that there are a lot of room for improvement in our system. So as you go through this process, feel free to reach to me and the Secretariat if there are things that you think needs to be improved. We are there, first of all, on my part as an elected official, but also the Secretariat, they are very active in helping. So if you have any challenge or things that you think can be done better, please let us know. Reach out to us, and I will hand over to the Secretariat. They will give you some additional information. I think most of them have been asked on the chat room, but if they have additional information, they will give them to you, and then hopefully we will see you all registering for the upcoming exams. I wish you the best of luck. Over to you, Madam Aisha, and your team. Thank you. Aisha.
Hello.
I'm done.
Thank you very much, Engineer Chair. Thank you. I would like to find out if Richard and Adobia have any comments to make.
And let Richard and Adobia, if you can make your emails, I think Adobia has done that, but Richard's email and can be made available.
Adobia, any comments from you?
Okay, thank you. So first of all, we just want the participants to note our official mode of communication is through email. So advise that they pay attention to their emails. And then again, in applying, we advise that you give us one active email address so that it becomes easier communicating with you. So those who asked of the registration fee, currently our registration fee is 860. Examination is around 1,000, as the chairman mentioned. And then the induction fee is around 800. Whenever it's revised, it will be communicated to members. And then in the event where you're not too sure you can participate in the exam,